Introducing acclaimed novelist, essayist, critic, poet, and playwright, Colm Toibin.
In Ireland, because there are so many good poets, I think bad poets are generally not invited to parties or not welcome anywhere they go. And there's a general feeling, I think, that bad poets should write prose. And that's one of the reasons why I became a novelist. But there's another more important reason. In Ireland, it's also the case, because we have so many good barmen and famous barmen and bartenders, then bad barmen are really hard despised and they're not welcome. And I was a bad barman. And it all began when I was 16. I got a summer job in the Grand Hotel in Tramore on the south coast of Ireland. And it began badly, my time as a barman, and it never improved. You see, I had no idea how to pull a pint of Guinness. And even when I learned, I still had no idea. And, you know, it sort of went like this, that you were meant to pull it this way, and then this way. And then I wasn't sure, maybe this way back, but only less so, maybe a bit. Or maybe, you know, maybe it was the other way around, that you did it this way, and then this way. I mean, some nights that summer, the ballroom of the hotel was packed with people. The bar was open until 2 in the morning, and the customers, the drinkers, pushed past each other to get my attention. And they wanted things like 1 vodka and tonic, 1 vodka and 1 gin without ice, 2 pints of Guinness, 2 pints of Harp, lemonade. And they looked at me like it was urgent, you know. And the problem was that by the time that I remembered the order, I had forgotten it. You know? So I'd also actually forgotten the face of the person who ordered, you know. So, I mean, the best thing, really, the only solution I felt at the time was to get loads of different types of drinks and mixers and ice and things, lemon, put them on the counter in a row and hope that someone would claim them. And then try and work out how much the order cost. And if you want to know, did things get worse? Oh, it got worse. One afternoon, early in my stay, I noticed that 2 men were in deep conversation. Since there was not much else to do, that afternoon, I decided to listen into what they were saying. And this might have been taken as an incipient example of a novelist, you know, listening into people. But just then, it might have also been understood as a sign of pure nosiness on the part of a bad barman. So I hovered close, the 2 men whispered more. It was about money, they were talking about money. I was all ears. The father-in-law, the cash, he scooped it up. No, the wife, no, she never knew. And then suddenly, in the middle of this, the one man looked up at me and said, "Would you ever shag off, you little squirt, whoever you are, and mind your own business?" The next day, luckily for everyone, I had the afternoon off. It was a glorious day, windless, with a high sky. And since I had packed 1 book, I thought I would carry it with me. I might even read it. It was called The Essential Hemingway, and it included the full text of Ernest Hemingway's first novel, The Sun Also Rises, which was published under the umbrella of Simon & Schuster. And it's here. We want to celebrate Hemingway because that book, that afternoon, it hit something. It hit the nervous system before it hit anything else. And it was like energy. It was like electricity. Hemingway's sentences were simple, filled with repetitions and odd variations, filled with an emotion which seemed to live in the space between the words. And I was no longer a bad barman. I was no longer a bad poet. I was living in a book. And that book opened up possibilities. Within 4 years, I would myself be living in Spain, as the characters in that novel do. Within a few years more, I had a typewriter and I had an idea. I was still a bad poet. I was still a bad barman. But now I could find a way to subsume all that failure into style. I would start to write fiction.